Good morning, everyone. This is BizTix TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better and to run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we always meet with our money mindset coach, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Hey, Karen, how you doing this morning?
Really great with lots of snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah, I saw your post. Yes. Well, I just want to give a shout out to our producer, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, and my partner at BizChicks. I'm Carolina from California Cover Ups, and we're the BizChicks. So we're inviting you today to sit back, relax, and take some notes because Coach Karen is about to talk to us about getting down to the business of business.
Mhm.
With so with that, I'm going to turn her loose. How you doing, Coach? Have at it.
Good. Good. Today we're talking about the mindset development towards your business budget because last week we talked about the personal budget. We started out this month talking about a time for everything, and this is the month where you really want to pay attention to your numbers. And I love January and maybe even February for your numbers because you're earlier enough in the game to still have receipts and things from last year so that you can figure out and fix and adjust and do what need be. So that's why I'm really pushing it so hard. And the second reason is it also will help you to understand your sales that needs to come into the year to make sense. Okay. And
Hmm.
yet last week I speak on the personal budget and how important it is and all that sort of stuff, that wonderful stuff. This week, the reason we're talking about mindset development towards your business budget is because some people don't understand that you do need a business budget and it's separate from your personal budget. And it has to be. Just like how we have a fixed and a flexible personal budget, we have the same thing with the business budget. We have a fixed and a flexible. The fixed is the fixed expenses that you have decided your business needs to attend to. Whatever that is, you make a list and that's what you pay for every month. Now, when you first start off in business, you pay for it every month. Once your business pick up and start making money, your job is to put aside a little bit, have going a little bit, so that you can pay for things annually versus every month. So you can take that out of the equation and know that where whatever month you decide that's going to be, you pay for the full year. You're going to do a little bit of savings when you pay for the full year, and I want you to take that savings and put it in towards your cash flow. So we're building up your cash flow. Building up your cash flow in your business is one of the best things you can do because it just make your heart less reactive, less palpitating when something come up. You know, when something broke, if you broke your printer, we know we're digital, but we need to print things at times. If you broke your printer, if your desk broke, like my desk broke the other day, if just things happen, you've got this cash flow that you're not panicking and how you're going to cover it, how this is going to happen. You
Yeah.
set up for that sort of thing. So that's important. The flexible part is in your business budget is really for if you're struggling and you need to hire a strategist or you need to hire a coach for a set period of time, you're able to have some flex in there. Or you know you want to, and so you're saving towards it. So that's where you're creating that flex for. It's not something you're always going to need, but it's something when you need it, you can go in there and get it. For the flex also, even though you have your fix for maybe your email and all that stuff, you might want to change gears. And if you want to test out something, you've got this flexible part so you can go in and test out a specific software. Lots of times we try to test out, and I know I did this too, where they got a 14-day free or 30 days, and you're like, I'm going to do it. And usually all sorts of things happen to your mind, so you don't get to spend the 30 days. So you might need to spend a little money and end up spending, 60 to 90 days. So you got to flex money so you can do that too. But you got to pay attention again to your monies. That's
Hmm.
important. Paying attention to your numbers. And that's what budget is about. Budget is about paying attention to your numbers. It's not nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to hide from it. It's not going anywhere. It is what it is. If somebody tell you their course, their product, their program is $2,200, that's what it is. So it's going to cost you if they allow you to get a pay plan, whatever that number is every month, and you have to get it and you have to have it. So it has to be placed in your budget so you can do it. And you have to actually do the work so that you feel that what you've spent makes it. Anyhow, so that's the gist of it. Now I'm going to get into details. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to cover. Number
Okay.
one. Why is this so important? I speak on that a little bit, and I'm going to answer the question. You should answer it for yourself too. Where are you going? That's the reason you're setting it up. And number two is how to get there. You got to know where you're going, and you got to know how to get there. And that is simply what I talk about a lot in my group, where I talk about every Sunday doing setting three big goals and then setting three smaller goals. And what that means is for the big goals, you want to set each goal, you want to set three smaller goals for them. Because when you do that, it really and truly empower you, not allow, but it empower you to get it done. It really do. Here's three little goals that I set myself. I know that no matter what I'm feeling in the morning, I'm going to walk, I'm going to do my workout for 30 minutes. I know I am going to write in my journal for however long it takes me. You know, there's a 5 minutes, there's 10 minutes, and there's days when it's an hour because I've got a lot of things to get out of my head and it got to get into the journal. And then I know my prayer time. So when I am fighting with myself because I might oversleep or something happened in the home and I couldn't get to it, I know that those three things that I have to do, once I break it down, I get them done. And I break it down. I have to work out for 30 minutes. So I'm not worried about the journaling at that time. I'm focusing on the workout. That's it. It's just 30 minutes of my time. I'm not looking at anything else. Now, I'm going to tell you, a lot of the other thoughts is going to come at you. And you have to constantly say, until you're able to do this for yourself, without thinking about it, I'm working out. Like I know it's simplest language. You say to yourself, Karen, I'm working out. And when it reminds you about it, Karen, I'm working out. And you keep saying it till it disappears. And it truly disappears, but you have to be so firm on it that you're really saying to yourself, I'm not allowing the other thoughts in. And this is the same thing goes for your money, your budgeting. I am doing this. This is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing. And so you have to literally talk to yourself about this situation. Nobody coming to help you. This is your game. You gotta have to play it, and you gotta talk to yourself about it. Okay, this is important. So where are you going? Where are you going simply means what I want to see for my business this year. Do I want my business to make $1 million? And if the answer is yes, and you need to put down those numbers to know, could I make it in a year or do I need 3 to 5 years? And be honest with yourself for that number. Now, what's the step? How do I get there? You have to answer that question. Trust me on this. It's not a day answer. It's not a week answer. It probably could take you all, 4, 6 weeks to get the answer. But don't give up on yourself. Keep writing it and keep asking the question and keep answering the question. And when the stuff comes up that you don't like, write about why you don't like it. Write about why that is coming up. Write about the fear that it's invoking, because that's what it's doing to you. And so it's everything that somebody had told you years ago that you can't do or you shouldn't be doing, it's going to come up. And whatever has happened to you that was disappointing, it's going to showcase to you that this is really the answer. And it's not true. It just has to come forth first. And you have to get past those gates and those sliders to get to the true core of where you want to go and how you're going to get there. And getting there going to have a lot. You can write a list of it. Could be a coach, could be a strategist, could be somebody who need to help you tech. It could be a whole bunch of things. And everybody you can't hire at the same time. I don't care how many people say I have a team of 6 people, I have a team, a team of one, okay? And then once you understand the team of one, then you get a team of how many. You're gonna have to do that. That's just what you have to do. And you have to find potential clients. And then you have to keep and nurture those clients. And then you get to work with those clients. There's no other way around it, no matter how many fancy words you hear. This is how it is. But when you imagine you put down the numbers and understanding all this stuff, you are going to win every time because now you're not fighting against it. I told a friend that the other day, she's asking me, Karen, so you cook? Because I was trying to lose weight and what I'm doing. I said, I give myself 2 years. She's like, what? You don't need 2 years? I'm like, yeah. But the pressure I took off of myself when I'm not trying to get to my goal in 60 days. I was like so happy. I took the pressure off and I swear the pressure alone made me lose 10 pounds. That's what I believe. So the pressure was off for like 2 years. I know I don't need 2 years to lose 60 pounds, but it's going to allow me the time to lose the weight, eat right, feel good in my body, and then tone up and then continue. So that's why I give myself that stretch time. Don't be worried about the people who want to make you feel like you need to hurry up, but then you miss out on the things along the way that's going to keep you in your happy spirit. Because, hey, I love being happy, guys. that's like a big thing for me. My happiness and my peace,
Yes.
so huge for me that when I'm not feeling joy, yeah, that's when I get cranky. So I don't allow it in.
Okay. I have a comment over here, but I'm gonna hold it until you finish your point.
No, no, you can go ahead. I finished point one before I get to point two.
Okay. It says here, Alfredo, business budget, but I thought was funded first from work income. Well, even if it's funded, Al, you still need to what would you say? Organize what you're going to do with the money.
Yes, because the budget is about
This is all. That's all we're talking about, right?
yeah, budget is about organizing it. If you decide, and this is okay, I'm glad you bring that up, Alfred, because here's the thing. Some people says I'm working to fund my business, but they don't really fund their business, and they don't like hearing this. And here's why they don't fund their business. They take some money, they drop it in the business, and things ain't working out, and they're trying to figure out how it's going to work out. If you funding your business and you don't have a lump sum to fund the business, you have to note this down. This is why writing these things down is so important. If you're funding your business and you're giving your business from your work money $200 a month, where is it going? That's why you write the budget. So you says, I gave my business 200 a month. And just like any debt, this is a debt, okay? Just like any debt, you would write it down and you would write down where that 200 is going. And you also would write down how you're going to pay back that 200. Now, you must know that you are going to invest in your business either $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. So you have to know how much so that you don't keep feeding the business the 200, 500, or $1,000, but there's no return. Now, when you set up that business budget and you know that you're giving yourself 200 a month and you know that you're putting it towards A, B, C, and D, and you know how you're going to pay it back and when, now you really truly funding your business for the success of your business, not just to say, I am funding my business. That's why I got to keep my job because people
Mm-hmm.
do this all the
Yes, they
time.
do.
So you got to know that. So budget is really about organizing. And there's a list of way how you set up your budget and get it organized because it really, I can't tell you how truly blessed you feel when you get that line, especially the debt line out or down, when you get the expense line to come down and you see you can take that money, put it somewhere else to make you money. That's the nice thing about it. In every shape or the form, right? And number two is being consistent with your numbers. Why? Because it's all up to you. Yes, it's not the economy, it's nobody. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when somebody told me that, I was so mad with them. I remember a big businessman lived, and he had his business not far from where we lived in Guyana. And I went to him with a proposition and was to give me a loan. And we started talking. I wanted to grow my business and in this specific arena. And I wanted a loan from him. And so I made a date with him and I sat down and I talked with him and tell him what I wanted for. And we were going to talk it through before we sign up any paper and do anything. And we sit down and we start talking. And he said to me, he said, Karen, do you really need a loan? And I said, of course I need a loan. And I explained why I needed a loan. He said, do you truly need a loan? And by the time I left his establishment, I didn't need a loan. I didn't need a loan. I didn't need to go put myself out. We start talking about what I could do better, how I could do it better. And I answer all my questions just because of the questions he was answering me, asking me, right? And we started talking. And one of the big things were I live in a small little apartment with my mom. And to bake goods, I'll tell you what it was, to bake the goods on the oven I was using, it was taking too long to get
Mm.
to get it out there for the amount of
To
time
get
I was developing. Like I was going so fast.
to get the volume you needed.
The
Yeah.
volume, yeah. And we started talking, and because he left me with all these questions, I started answering them, and I started looking forward. And we call it a baker shop, and where people bake like commercially. And I started this. I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just go after the bakers. How do I do? Because I'm a small business owner, and they're only doing it for these big companies. And I went in and I asked. And I was told who I need to see, and it was still, I think it was 11:30 the night before the guy comes in, so I couldn't find him in the day. That's why I never knew, who to contact, but I stick with it. 11:30, he was there and I was there. I told him what I needed. I told him what I needed, And I asked him if he had any space, and he gave me his schedule. He says, I don't see I'll fit you in, but give me 48 hours. In 2 days, he got back to me, and he came before his schedule. He came during the day, and he saw me. He says, here's what I'm going to do for you. I tell people this story all the time. Mr. Malcolm gave me a chance to squeeze in between the commercial oven when no commercial stuff was happening. He had a window for me, and I had to either yes or no. I said yes to the window, and that brought me up to par. I could fill my volume. And here's the big kicker. He never charged me a penny. He says the time is
Wow.
there. The oven is hot. Nobody is using it. And it was going to be there. We can't turn it off. This is how it works. We can't turn it off within this.
Wow.
No. Anyway, and he said once
What a blessing.
he wasn't the boss, but he's the baker. And he said once we talked to the boss, and he said, it's okay. We talked to the boss. He's like, how old are you, girl? Listen, I'm going to do this for you. Blessings. But I have to come out of my comfort zone. I have to go talk to somebody to get my balls rolling. Lots of times we don't want to talk to certain people at certain
Mm-hmm.
times because we're feeling we big and we know what we no, you never feel this way. Always, if you need to talk to somebody, even if you don't have a penny on you, go talk to them. Go talk to the people you need to talk to. Not because everything is going to be free, but because they're going to help you get to this next stepping stone.
Well, the other thing too is when you're new in a business, you don't even know what you need. You don't even know what they have.
Right.
So when you approach them, they know what it was like. They know what they have available to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to help people.
People want to help people.
That's why they're in business. If they weren't helping their customers, they couldn't stay in business.
They couldn't stay in business. Right on, Terry. They couldn't stay in business. They couldn't stay in business. And I was with those guys baking up a storm. I tell you, there's days sometimes where that was not the thing, but they were always like, we are available for you. We love seeing a young businesswoman grow. We get joy when we see your order is more. Like we're
Exactly.
talking among us that this girl is gonna blow it out of water. Like probably she's gonna need a slot. And people truly, I know you probably have encountered people who don't, but I'm telling you, there's truly people who just really just want to see you shine. No strings attached. I give the guys
Exactly.
whatever I wanted to give them, but nothing, true to their word. For as long as they were in business, that was the contract. And for as long as I wanted to stay in business, I could bake with them. That was it. Simple as that. So you have to be consistent in knowing your numbers so you can understand where you want to grow to. And it's all up to you. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's all up to you. You have to find a way. Our government had banned every single thing in our country. We couldn't get flour. We had to use rice flour. We couldn't get a whole bunch of things at one point in Guyana. And let me tell you, if you sat down and cry about it, there's people who did, you would be out of business. But for the business folks like myself who get up and say, okay, this is what we don't have, but what can we do with what we do have? And we would just, I mean, you name people show up for you when you are also doing what you can do. People are wanting to be behind you because first you are doing it. You don't get this stuff unless you get up and do it. I had an argument with a lady the other day, and I said to you, it's not because God doesn't help you. No, it's because it's not because God doesn't want to see you rich. That was her comment. I said, it's because whether you get rich or poor, God don't really care. I know you don't want to hear this. He doesn't care. Here's why. If you sit down for the rest of your life and do nothing, you're going to sit down for the rest of your life. That's not because God is not going to bless you, your family's going to love you, and God is not going to care for you. No. But if you want to do something, you have to get up and do it. And then he sent a whole bunch of cheerleaders behind you to just keep pushing you. Because they don't even know they're getting pushed by God, but they're just coming to you. Whether they believe in God or not, they're getting used. Let me just tell you, they get used. But you gotta first get up and say, put up your hand and say, hey, I want to do this. Yeah, you gotta get it because we're hearing all the time, we just don't want to do it. You gotta be consistent. You gotta consistently know your numbers.
Mm.
And that really comes from the mindset thing. That really comes from you understanding and developing your mindset. Knowing when to say no.
Mm-hmm.
when it doesn't align. Knowing when to get up and say, this is what I got to do. So, for instance, I want to talk about the budget. I want to go back to the budget in a minute here talking about this. When you set your budget, don't set your budget, put it aside, and say, I'll go back to it. Your job, if I didn't say that for the
Mm-hmm.
personal budget, let me say it here right now. Your job is to put it on a spreadsheet. You don't have to get no fancy app. You could, but I'm giving you the simplest, or in Word, whatever you have. And every morning, part of your journey is to look at your numbers to see where you're at. Not every week, not every month, every single day. If you work at work 6 days a week, 6 days a week for your business budget, you're to go in there and pay attention to it. It helps you and it helps your mind to stay on track, to organize, reorganize when need be, and adjust when need be, so that you're not reactive, you're not working in a panic mood, panic state of mind. You are thinking forward. It's pushing you forward. So this is twofold. You're supposed to be going in there and looking at it and making sure it's okay. The other job for you is to go into your bank account and see what's happening in there. If you got $0, or you got $5, or you got $20 in your account, open your account and pay attention. Now, when you open your account, most banks have information in there. If you don't have a lot of money in your account and you're wanting it to grow, you need to go and watch it. You need to go and learn what a bank has to offer. You need to go find out things. You need to pay attention so that money can get into the account.
Yes.
You need to pay attention. Matter of fact, if you don't got the money, you need to be your account more steady than people who have money in there. You need to go and pay attention because you're watching at your budget, you've gotten it organized, and you're watching your bank account, and you're watching how they work together, how they do this beautiful dance. And if it's not doing it, you know what you need to do. And the truth is, you're going to need to make more sales in your business. And we're going to get into sales a little later. Probably next week we'll start talking back again about sales. We're going to always talk about sales because that's what brings you money in your business, right? So we
Yes.
always have to keep talking about it. We always have to not being afraid of it. And when you feel afraid, it's just you feeling uncomfortable and not used yet to know. So to me, to speed up the no's, you want to do a lot of it fast so that you can hear tons of no's. Think about a kid. Oh my gosh, my other granddaughter's a year and a half and she just get the word no, but it doesn't really faze her. Like she is asking for that cookie, that cereal. I mean, if I don't give her uncles, my husband, her mother, if she catch her dad or not, she is she's stopping into everybody.
She's going around the circle and
And then she comes back again.
are you sure you meant no?
Right? She is on it. My
You
grandkids
you
went
know you
over.
know when they get to a certain age, then they get into now. Is it going to happen now? Like if you tell them in a minute, they'll come back in 30, 15 seconds and say, is it now? But we don't do that in our businesses, do we?
We don't. We don't. We don't. I was telling us yesterday. I said, when you got something, you have to spend. You have to dedicate. Part of this also this chunk in it, and I'll talk about in the sales time. How many dedication time you need towards making your sales? You have to really get out of your head that you're annoying to people. You got to get out of your head
Yes.
that you're interrupting people. You have to get out of your head that they're not ready to buy because you don't know what's on somebody's business budget to buy. Maybe somebody had on their business budget, next year I'm going to buy a computer. And let's say you were selling computers and you weren't really following up with people and talking to them. They're not going to buy it from you. There's so many thousands of people on Amazon. Let's say you had an Amazon store and you're selling electronics. You want to really tap into people. You can't just depend on it being on Amazon. You have to tap into people. Like I learned when I used to sell and design pajamas, you can't just show up at a show and sell a lot. I mean, I'm a yapper, so I was lucky that I was able to interact and be friendly and people buy from me. Everybody told me for a show making thousands of dollars, that really don't happen. But I'm a yapper. But if you're not, and you're not able to be and be in sales that way, you need to advertise. Now, the company does advertise, but you need to advertise. A lady told me, she said, I advertise 90 days before the show starts. And while the show is there, the reason I only come out 2 days a week and I hire people is because I'm busy trying to send people there. So I can't be there if I'm sending people there. The people who do good at shows, the people who you see booth has a lot of people and people come looking for them, they did some work up front.
Mm.
They did some work up front. You got to do the work up front. And part of the work up front is you understanding your numbers. Part of the work up front is understanding where you want to go and how you're going to get there. And here's all the steps to get there. And your budget is a reflection of what you're doing to get you there. You get you owing. And by the way, that's in your budget too. You know, the debt you're owing for your business, the expenses your business incurred, as I said before, the profit margin, the taxes you pay on your business. Yes, all those things are there if you're taking a salary, a dividend, however you're setting up your business. Some people don't know yet what they're doing because the business was so small that they're not in the area that I'm speaking of, but it doesn't matter. You want to learn. You want to understand these things early. It's like giving.
Mm.
You're not going to give $10 out of $100. If you don't want to give $10 out of $100, you're not going to give $100,000. You're not going to give $1,000 out of $100,000. That is going to seem so hard to you. And if you give it, you're going to lament on it, and your lamentation is going to limit your processes, and no more money is going to come. It's going to feel like a
Mm-hmm.
fluke because you're being discontented. You're being upset with yourself that you have to give away. You didn't have to give away. You got to keep your money. And if it's your belief, you keep your money. But if you believe like us about the 10%, then your processes would be, I have to give 10%. There's people who give 10% and whine about it. Just don't give it then. Give it. God love a cheerful giver. Give it cheerfully. If not, give it when you think you can. It's okay. There's no blame, shame here. Give it when you think you can. And once you start understanding that process, you feel better. Also, give yourself 10%. Give yourself
Mm-hmm.
10% for the things you know you want to do and accomplish. Get that straightened out so that you see the balance. And it's okay. You'll be okay. But you have to really shift your mind into understanding why these setups are important. Yes, you're going to take, when you first do it, you probably sit down there for 2 hours trying to figure things out, or you're trying to see if I could do like this person budget or that person budget. Yeah. But once you get into the rhythm of things and you understand how to organize your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
eventually anything fancy you want, you can go get. But ultimately, you just need to have a flexible budget with all the things that you need in those areas. And as I said, since Alfred brought it up, if you need to finance your business, don't just pour money into it. Know what you need. That means
Mm.
you know how much your business needs. And some businesses need 10,000 to start. Some businesses need $200 to start. You choose what your business needs. Also, the other thing is, if you start your business right and you don't know, go back and see all the assets that in your business. If you're a sewer, how much your machine costs. If you're a tech guy, how much all your tech stuff costs. If you're a designer, all your designer stuff costs. That's part of your asset, and I want you to write it down so that you can know that this business already have money inside of it. Because
Mm.
sometimes that's another thing people think of. My business don't have any money. It has money inside of it. And how could I use what I have and capitalize on it? How I could make this make more money? How I can pay back for that machine or computer I bought? Yeah, it's okay to pay yourself back for the things you have invested in your business. And it also might help push you to make more money in your business.
Mm.
But we really have to start taking our minds, taking ourselves, having a sit down and developing yourself, understanding here's where I'm at. Maybe I'm only going to be able to make X amount of money for this year, but I'm okay because I've got some things to learn. Or maybe I've learned some things already, but I haven't taken action with them. And if I did this year, then I'll make X amount of dollars. Because it's two different things. You might want to make $100,000 this year, but that doesn't mean that's your salary for the year. When you know what you want to pay yourself for the year and you understand your expenses to pay yourself that for the year,
Mm-hmm.
student taxes and all that sort of thing, you really, really budget. It's nothing to be afraid of. You start welcoming it. Mm-hmm.
Well, there are some things that I do. I do check in to see what's going on with my account.
Mm-hmm.
I do. but I haven't gone back and done a comparison between last year and where I want to be this year. And I think I need to visit that
Hmm.
this month.
Yes. Yes. It's a good month to visit that.
And set a goal for every month based on the previous year. Because, yeah.
It's a good place to be in.
Well, a happiness plan is a happiness plan, right? Because once you know what the plan is, now you're relaxed and you're happy. That's
Yes.
why I call it a happiness
Happiness
plan,
plan.
because it takes away the care. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because it's clear where
Hmm.
you're going with this.
Yes. Yes. You know where you're going. You know where you start off. You know where you're going. I was telling my mom the other day, I said, if you keep beating yourself up and saying, I wish I had known this in my 20s, my 30s, or my 40s, you can't get those years back if you're in your 50s like me. Like, you can't. So just where you are. If you're in your 20s and you're panicking and you haven't figured out who you're going to do in your 30s, you're going to panic in your 30s until you turn 40. Like, but you don't even notice that you're panicking right through to 40. But every year you panic, oh my God, I wish I know this and I could do that. Oh my God, I wish I know this and I could do. And people do this all up to their 40s and then their 50s. And they feel so ashamed by the time they get there that now there's a lot of illnesses that come with that.
Mm,
Guilt and shame bring on so many illnesses for people, and they don't even realize that it's doing it, because
yeah.
no illnesses start and just blow up. Very few. Most start so slowly and then it walk themselves into whatever it's
Mm,
going to be. And so
mm-hmm.
for you to not stay there and get out of it, you have to. I remember a lady came to me for a job and she just had never cleaned before and she was horrible at it. And I trained her and I trained her and she was just horrible at it. And I had to sit her down once and listen, Mary, you're just awful at it. It's not good for this. This is not for you.
This is not your
This
gift.
is not your gift. Just tell me what you love to do. And she told me, I said, then you need to get a job there. I know you really want it and I know I can help you out, but people will be calling me and I wouldn't have the time for it. So I just can't do
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay. But I bring her up for that one reason. But the second reason was, she had diabetes. And the doctor said to her, you just have to lose the weight and walk it down. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
action. That's what I'm bringing her up ready for the action and to showcase when if you're not working in your genius, leave it and go work in your genius. She was. The other part was she was bringing on this because she kept trying to work in places that wasn't suited for her skill, and people didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to tell her to embarrass her. I'm not a gal, so she got me and I sat her down and said, "Mary, you're not to clean nobody's house because you can't. What you could do, we listened, and she's happily working where she could do it. Okay, now Mary lose a bunch of weight and didn't have to worry about diabetes. And you know why? So she don't have to get the needle. She didn't have to worry about the tablet. She didn't have to worry. She changed her eating and lose the weight. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen overnight. It took a while.
But it's easier to change your habits when you are happy, when you're working in your gifting. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying to you?
yes, yes,
You're following your destiny.
yes,
You're doing the thing you love to do. These are
yes,
all different ways to say that. Um, Now your mind is calm and you're not sitting there eating because you really don't want to be here. Gosh, I don't want to be here. Now,
yes. True, 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 true. And you're just packing your face with crap. And if you were just doing what you needed to do. But also, some people gifting is so rare to others that they shame the people. They shame the people
they
into
do.
not want. They shame the people. I remember a girl saying to me, "Oh, so you're still doing that little thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I still doing that little thing." But I'm comfortable to say that and not worry. But there's people who that would just flatten them out, and that would make
Hmm.
them feel that they can't keep doing it. And that would make them feel they can't get into other things or do other things. I remember somebody
Hmm.
really wanted to open a coffee shop and he got turned down. He had the money, but he had problems otherwise, so they wouldn't let him open it. And he was just fucked. And I said to him, "Don't buy a franchise. Just buy the bit. You got enough money. Buy the building and start your own coffee shop. Just just get your own coffee shop." But I didn't know that a lot of people had made him feel really less than before. So he didn't have that courage like I was talking about. I
Hmm.
learned later. So for him, that turning down made him feel like he can't own a shop. It did a
Hmm.
lot of other things in his mind.
Yep. So he didn't have the ability to look and see the other possibilities and options to make his dream come true. He
Right.
wanted it to go through this specific
Mm-hmm.
tunnel,
Yeah.
and that tunnel was blocked,
And
and he
he
did.
couldn't see another. He just couldn't see another.
Hmm.
A lot of people, I go to the function and I don't tell people what I do. I don't. A
Hmm.
lot of my friends, I got close friends who know, but other people, I just don't tell them what I do. I just let them be because it's such a wonderful thing to just watch and see people talk and they don't know half of the things, and I just smile. Because some people, there's no need to tell them anything either. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, just said, when people ask you what you do, if you're worried, just tell them you manufacture drugs. They'll leave you alone.
Oh, girl,
I'm not saying
that's.
they work with pharmaceuticals. So anything that leaves them alone, because if it's not the
Hmm.
common, if it's not
Hmm.
the common, what they do. Oh, it was my friend's son. He's an artist. He's not popular yet, so he was feeling the heat because people make him feel like and he's a good artist. He's a really excellent artist, but he's not there yet. And so I said, tell them some. Don't tell them. Actually, those people that he's talking to is not going to buy his art. First of all, they don't have the taste for it. Their
Hmm.
homes is not set up for this. Okay, so that's not even his audience. They only come in to see to yabber about
To
it.
comment.
Yes, pharmaceuticals. I work with pharmaceuticals. I make tablets. I do whatever things like that. Tell them people don't really care. They don't really want to know. They just want to find out from you. That's the crowd wasn't my crowd, but the crowd there, I seized them up and I said they don't want to know
Okay.
anything.
Well, Coach, we're coming up to our time. So my question is, have we covered all 3 points that you wanted to make today?
We only had 2 points there because they were big. And
Okay.
talk about why this is so important, why having your mindset developed towards a business budget is so
Hmm.
important. It really helps you horn in on where you're going and how to get there. The numbers will tell you the things you need to do. And if you don't know, then you start investigating, you start reaching out. You reach out to a coach like myself, you reach out to a strategist if that's the part that's, have you stumped, and you get those things fixed. And number two, you got to be consistent with your numbers. And why? Because it's all up to you. It's not about the economy. It's not about what's going on. Yes, that's their part in it. But your job, every time there's a hardship happening in any part of the world you're in, there's a bunch of people that shine and a bunch of people that die out. The people that shine is the people who understand it's up to them.
Hmm.
Those are the
Hmm.
people that shine. They understand it's up to them. They understand that maybe this year they're not going to make 100,000, but this year they're going to make 50,000 because in the next year, when things turn around, the next couple of years, they're going to double that money, and they
Yes.
understand it's up to them. And they understand that number because they've been looking at their budget. They understand their bank account, where things are going, where things. All this is about building up. Mindset is all about your feeling and how you act and react
Hmm.
to things. That's what mindset does to the body. That's it for today.
Okay. So we want to focus on what we're focusing on and be consistent with
Be
our numbers.
consistent. Yep. Get those numbers organized. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of where you are. Just work towards where you go.
There you go. Trying to make $1 out of 15
Uh,
cents, guys.
ex-
I love it. So, Coach, tell us where we can find you on the web.
You find me every day for right now at Island Girl Hustle, Coach Caren. Sometimes it comes up as that. You find me everywhere. I talk a lot about money mindset. I am live in a lot of groups, including my own. So I'm pretty much easy to be found if you want to find me.
All right. And you can always find her here through BizTix. You can always
Exactly.
go in the group and ask questions that will lead to a path to Coach Caren if you need her. So, with that, we want to remind you that tomorrow is what, Thursday? So it's
Mhm.
going to be Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shamizu and friends. Girl,
Yes.
you got to tune in tomorrow and find out what's happening health wise.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we want to thank Coach Caren. We want to thank you for everything you do for us and how you come in and give us these wonderful nuggets to help us get our minds wrapped around our money so that we can do business better. Brenda, we want to give you a shout out. And
Hi,
Celia,
Brandon.
thank you for joining us. Nora, Al, and all of those watching on the replay. We just want to say thank you for tuning in and
We
spending some
appreciate
time with us. Yes, we appreciate you. And we hope you'll join the conversation tomorrow. In the meantime, don't forget to
to
go to
go
the front of
there
your
from
own
your
line. We love you. Bye bye.
own.